It was 5 degrees that morning, cold enough to steal your breath. There he was, my grandson, barefoot on the frozen sidewalk, trembling in nothing but a t-shirt and shorts. His lips were purple. He hugged himself as if his arms could hold his body together. That was the first glimpse of betrayal. I slammed the brakes so hard the tires screamed. He looked up, eyes wide, then shuffled toward me like a frightened stray. I threw my coat over his shoulders. His skin was ice beneath my hands. I glanced past him at the house. Through the frosted window I could see them. My son, his wife, her parents, their children, gathered around a glowing table, a golden turkey at the center, candles flickering, laughter spilling from the room. They were eating and celebrating while this boy froze outside. Something inside me went very quiet. I walked up the driveway with the child clinging to my side. I didn't knock. I didn't wait. I kicked the door open so hard it hit the wall. Plates rattled, forks stopped midair, and I said 6 words that cut the room in two. You left him out to die. Their faces paled. But that night did not begin here. It began years earlier when I raised my son. I poured everything into him. Double shifts, sleepless nights, skipped meals so he could eat. I believed I was raising a man who would protect his family, never let them go cold. He had his mother's hunger for approval though. He married into money, and money taught him how to be cruel under a polite smile. His wife's family didn't like me. They said I was too blunt, too plain, unwilling to play their small, poisonous games. Slowly, they edged me out of his life, and he let them. At first it was missed calls and forgotten invitations. Then came long silences. The last time I'd seen my grandson he was 5, clinging to me as if he felt me being erased. His mother pulled him away with a smile that cut. That day I promised myself, if they ever crossed the line I wouldn't shout. I wouldn't beg. I'd undo everything they valued. Quietly, thoroughly. So I watched. I kept records. Photos, timestamps, conversations. They thought they'd cut me out, but I knew the habits and the cracks. I found the overdue mortgage my son hid from his wife, the bogus consulting fees her father claimed, the late-night messages my son sent to a woman who wasn't his wife. Betrayal is a web. You only have to tug one thread. I waited because revenge needs patience. It must be accurate, not hot-headed. And then came Thanksgiving, the boy outside. That was the line. Before I even forced the door, I'd called a friend at Child Protective Services. I sent photos, video, the timestamp of the freezing air. I told her I would testify. Inside the house, silence thickened as my words landed. My son's hand shook as he set down his glass. His wife's face was not guilty so much as terrified of what might come next. I tightened my coat around the boy and said, "Eat your turkey. You'll need the strength. Lawyers take time." And I had already traced the storm that would follow. CPS arrived first. The boy was placed in emergency care with me within the hour. I had a room ready. Warm blankets, hot cocoa, a lock on the inside of the door. Safety is warmth, yes, but it is also control. Then the agents came for the financials. The consulting fees were exposed. Her father's confident face fell when records were pulled. Finally, the affair. I didn't have to invent it. I forwarded the messages to his wife. She read them without a sound, her manicured hand trembling, then left the house. Piece by piece their carefully constructed life unraveled. I never raised my voice. Months later I watch my grandson sleep. Safe, warm, breathing deeply. People ask if I regret what I did, whether it pains me to see my son ruined. I don't regret a single step. My son betrayed me long before that Thanksgiving. He betrayed the child shivering on the sidewalk. I gave him life. He gave the child neglect. When I kicked that door open and spoke those 6 words, it wasn't fury that filled me. It was a strange, quiet justice, the kind that doesn't shout but cuts clean. Sitting in the hush now, I realize revenge was never the aim. It was the correction of a mistake I made years ago, believing my son would be the man I raised him to be. He wasn't. I only hope that, having broken what was broken, I can help mend what matters most.